prostrating at the lotus feet of Shrotriya Brahmanishta Sadguru Swami Virajeshwara Saraswati on behalf of all of us. Today's discourse on Viveka Chudamani will continue. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Mahasaraswatyai Namaha. Sadashiva Samarambham Shri Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashyakruto Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Gocharam Tamagocharam Govindam Paramanandam Sadgurum Pranatosmyaham Om Namo Bhagavate Virajeshwaraya Harihi Om. Last time, the verse number 414, sloka number 414, we had stopped. Samula metat paridahya tadatmani brahmani nirvikalpe tatasvayam nitya vishuddha bodha nandatmana tishtati vidvarishtaha. It was stopped there. As was told last time, it was almost half complete. We'll complete that this time. One basic point in Vedanta. Acharya is using the word I said Vidvarishtaha, that refers to Brahma Vidvarishtaha Sthiti, the highest plane of Jnana Bhumika, where a Brahmajnani can enter into and remain in that Bhumika. A rare of the rare cases that leads to almost the real, what we call Avadhuta Sthiti, and that is the seventh plane of Jnana Bhumika called Brahma Vidvarishta Sthiti, that dimension. So Acharya says here in these shlokas, the most important pertinent point is culling out the entire essence of Brahmajnana, Atmajnana, in other words, and what is the significance of this Brahmajnana, how a Brahmajnani behaves and lives, and what is the effect of the Brahmajnana, or what is the significance of this Brahmajnana or realization. Why we should realize ourselves in this birth, which is the Parama Purushartha, for which we are actually born in this cycle of birth and death. All these points are very, very lucidly, beautifully, with earnestness, Acharya is giving out all these points here in the next set of shlokas. The highest knower of Brahma, that is Brahma Vidvarishtaha. Vidvarishtaha means that he is the highest among the knowers. Sreshthat Sreshtha. He remains firmly established, permanently established, totally established in that eternal, pure, blissful Atma itself, and he becomes Swayam Brahma himself, Swayam Atma Swarupa himself, by totally discarding, totally shedding off the so-called body-mind complex consciousness or body consciousness. ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಜ್ಞಾನಿಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಶ್ರೇಷ್ಠನಾದಂತಹ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮವಿದ್ವರಿಷ್ಠನು ಈ ಶರೀರವನ್ನ, ದೇಹವನ್ನ ಸತ್ಸ್ವರೂಪವಾದಂತಹ ಆ ನಿರ್ವಿಕಲ್ಪ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮವೆಂಬ ಅಗ್ನಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ದಹಿಸಿ ಅನಂತರ ತಾನು ನಿತ್ಯ ಶುದ್ಧ ಜ್ಞಾನಾನಂದ ಸ್ವರೂಪದಿಂದ ಇರ್ತಾನೆ ಅಂತ ಈ ಶ್ಲೋಕದ ಅರ್ಥ. ಅಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಬಂದಿತ್ತು ಹೋದ್ಸಲ. ಅಂಡ್ I was talking about the 7 steps or 7 dimensions of a Jnana Bhumika, of which the first three come under spiritual sadhana mode itself. In the duality, it is taking place. That is why it's called, it is taking place in Ajnana. The first three steps are, last time it was told, Shubhecha, number 1, Suvicharana, number 2, Tanumanasa, number 3. These are the steps. These are the spiritual steps. These are the main steps in the mode of sadhana. The next 4 steps, the 4th one is called Sattvapatti or Brahmavid stage. 5th one is called Asamsakti or Brahmavidvara state. 6th one is called Padartha Bhavini or Padartha Bhavana. That is called Brahmavidvariya state. And the final 7th one is called Turyaga or Brahmavidvarishta state. So the last 4 steps or Jnana Bhumikas, one point was explained last time. I'll repeat once again. Once the highest sadhaka mumukshu realizes his true nature, identity, that is no more the body, he is the Atma Sarupa. He is Sakshat Pratyakatma Sarupa. He is Sakshat, that eternal Brahma Sarupa. That Nirguna Nirvishesha Brahma Sarupa himself. Once he realizes that, he becomes a realized master or a Brahmajnani or a Atmajnani. So the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th steps, they're all Brahmajnanis, no doubt, absolutely. We have to always remember one point here. There is nothing like a gradation that one step is higher than the previous step. ಈ ಸಪ್ತಜ್ಞಾನ ಭೂಮಿಕೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಶುಭೇಚ್ಛ, ಸುವಿಚಾರಣ, ತನುಮಾನಸಾದ ನಂತರ ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಅಜ್ಞಾನದ ಭೂಮಿಕೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಬರತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಮೆಟ್ಟಲುಗಳು. ಮುಂದೆ ಬರತಕ್ಕಂತಹ 4 ಮೆಟ್ಟಲುಗಳು ಯಾವುದು? ಸತ್ವಾಪತ್ತಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮವಿತ್ ಸ್ಥಿತಿ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಅಸಂಸಕ್ತಿ, ಬ್ರಹ್ಮವಿದ್ವರ ಸ್ಥಿತಿ, ಪದಾರ್ಥಾಭಾವಿನ, ಇದು ಬ್ರಹ್ಮವಿದ್ವರೀಯ ಸ್ಥಿತಿ, ಮತ್ತು ತುರ್ಯಗ 7ನೇ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮವಿದ್ವರಿಷ್ಠ ಸ್ಥಿತಿ. ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಸ್ಥಿತಿಗಳು ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಜ್ಞಾನಿಗಳನ್ನ ಕುರಿತೇ ಹೇಳಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು. ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಇದು ಹೆಚ್ಚಿನದು, ಇದು ಕಡಿಮೆದು ಅನ್ನೋ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆನೇ ಬರೋಲ್ಲ ವೇದಾಂತದಲ್ಲಿ. ಎಲ್ಲ ಸ್ಥಿತಿಗಳು ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಜ್ಞಾನಿಯನ್ನೇ ತೋರಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಜ್ಞಾನಿಯನ್ನ ಕುರಿತೇ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಸ್ಥಿತಿಗಳು. ಆದರೆ ವಾಡಿಕೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಜ್ಞಾನಿಗಳ ವ್ಯವಹಾರ ಹೇಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಕೆಲವು ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ, ವಿಶೇಷ ಸಂದರ್ಭಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲವು ಮಹಾತ್ಮರು, ಸಾಕ್ಷಾತ್ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಜ್ಞಾನಿಗಳು, ಆತ್ಮಜ್ಞಾನಿಗಳು ತಮ್ಮ ವಿಚಿತ್ರವಾದ ನಡವಳಿಕೆಯಿಂದ, ರೀತಿ ನೀತಿಗಳಿಂದ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ತಮ್ಮನ್ನು ತಾವು ತೋರಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾರೆ ಜಗತ್ತಿಗೆ, ಜನಗಳಿಗೆ ಅನ್ನೋ ದೃಷ್ಟಿಯಿಂದ ಇಲ್ಲಿ 4 ಹಂತಗಳನ್ನು ಹೇಳಲಾಗಿದೆ. ಮೂಲತಃ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಜ್ಞಾನಿಗಳೇ, ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಸ್ವಂತ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮನನ್ನ ಅರಿತು ಬ್ರಹ್ಮವೇ ಆಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥವರು, ಆತ್ಮಜ್ಞಾನ ಸಂಪನ್ನರಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥವರೇ ಆಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವರಿಗೆ ಪುನರ್ಜನ್ಮ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಅವರೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಜೀವನ್ಮುಕ್ತರೇ ಆಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇದು ಮೊದಲನೇ ನಾವು ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕಾಗಿರೋ ವಿಷಯ. ಕೇವಲ ಆ ಜೀವನ್ಮುಕ್ತಿಯ ವಿಲಕ್ಷಣವಾದ ಆನಂದವನ್ನ, ಆ ಪರಮಾನಂದವನ್ನ ಅನುಭವಿಸ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಕೆಲವು ಸಂದರ್ಭಗಳಲ್ಲಿ, ಕೆಲವು ವಿಶೇಷ ಸಂದರ್ಭಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲವು ಮಹಾತ್ಮರು, ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಕೆಲವು ಮಹಾತ್ಮರು, ಕೆಲವು ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಜ್ಞಾನಿಗಳು, ಕೆಲವು ಮಹಾಪುರುಷರು, ಕೆಲವು ಸಂತ ಪುರುಷರು ತಮ್ಮ ನಡವಳಿಕೆಗಳಿಂದ, ತಮ್ಮ ರೀತಿ ನೀತಿಗಳಿಂದ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಮಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಭಿನ್ನವಾಗಿ ತೋರುತ್ತಾರೆ. ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆ ಜೀವನ್ಮುಕ್ತಿಯ ವಿಲಕ್ಷಣವಾದ ಆನಂದವನ್ನು ಸದಾ ಸವಿತಾ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ, ಆ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಾನಂದ ಸಾಗರದಲ್ಲಿ ಅವರು ಮುಳುಗಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಜಗತ್ತಿನ ಬಗ್ಗೆ, ಹೊರ ಜಗತ್ತಿನ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಅವರ ವ್ಯವಹಾರ ನೋಡುವವರ ದೃಷ್ಟಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಬಹಳ ವಿಚಿತ್ರವಾಗಿ ಕಾಣುತ್ತೆ. ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ಒಂದು ಕಡೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಜ್ಞಾನಿ ಹೇಗಿರ್ತಾನೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಬಾಲವತ್, ಬಧಿರವತ್, ಉನ್ಮತ್ತವತ್, ಪಿಶಾಚವತ್. ಆಚಾರ್ಯರೇ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಜ್ಞಾನಿ ಕೆಲವು ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಗಿರ್ತಾನೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸಣ್ಣ ಹಸುಕೂಸು, ಬಾಲಕನ ಹಾಗೆ, ಮಗುವಿನ ಹಾಗೆ ಹಠ ಮಾಡುವಂತ ಸ್ವಭಾವ, ಹಠಮಾರಿತನ ಕೆಲವು ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಣುತ್ತೆ. ಉನ್ಮತ್ತವತ್, ಕೆಲವು ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಅತ್ಯಂತ ಉನ್ಮನೀಯ ಅವಸ್ಥೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಉನ್ಮತ್ತರಾಗಿ ಉನ್ಮಾದದಿಂದ ನೋಡುವವರ ಕಣ್ಣಿಗೆ ಇವರು ಏನಪ್ಪ ಹುಚ್ಚಿಡ್ದಿದೆಯಾ ಅನ್ನೋ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಅವ್ರ ವರ್ತನೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಪಿಶಾಚವತ್, ಕೆಲವು ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಅತ್ಯಂತ ವ್ಯಗ್ರರಾಗಿ, ಕೋಪಾವಿಷ್ಟರಾಗಿ, ಬಳಸಬಾರದ ಭಾಷೆಯನ್ನ ಬಳಸಿ ತಮ್ಮ ವ್ಯವಹಾರವನ್ನು ತೋರಿಸ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ. ಎಲ್ಲಂದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ ಅವರ ಜೀವನ, ಏನು ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದ್ರು ಅದನ್ನು ತಿಂತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು, ಅದು ಒಂಥರ ಪಿಶಾಚವತ್. ಕೆಲವು ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಬಧಿರವತ್, ಬಧಿರ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಕಾಷ್ಠಮೌನ. ಕೆಲವು ವಿಶೇಷ ಸಂದರ್ಭಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಜ್ಞಾನಿಗಳು ಸಂಪೂರ್ಣ ಮೌನವಾಗಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಯಾರು ಏನು ಮಾತನಾಡ್ಲಿ, ಏನು ಹೇಳಲಿ, ಏನು ಕೇಳಲಿ, ಸದಾ ಮೌನದಲ್ಲೇ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ. ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಸಂದರ್ಭಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇವಲ ಮೌನವೇ ಅವರ ಪರಿಭಾಷೆಯಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಎಂತಹ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲೂ ವಿಚಲಿತರಾಗದೆ ಮೌನದಲ್ಲಿ, ಕಾಷ್ಠ ಮೌನದಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ, ಕಿವಿ ಕೇಳದ ಹಾಗೆ ಇರ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ, ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಏನು ನಾವು ಹೇಳಿದ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯೋ ಇಲ್ವೋ ಅನ್ನೋ ಸಂಶಯ. ಬಧಿರವತ್, ಕಿವಿ ಕೇಳದೇ ಇರುವಂತ ಸ್ಥಿತಿಯನ್ನು ಲೆಕ್ಕ. ಈ ರೀತಿ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ಹೇಳಿಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಜ್ಞಾನಿಗಳ ವ್ಯವಹಾರ ಹೇಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಕೆಲವು ವಿಶೇಷ ಸಂದರ್ಭಗಳಲ್ಲಿ. ಈ ಉನ್ಮತ್ತಾವಸ್ಥೆ, ಪಿಶಾಚಾವಸ್ಥೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ವೇದಾಂತದಲ್ಲಿ ಅವಧೂತ ಸ್ಥಿತಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳುವಂತ. ಎಲ್ಲ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಜ್ಞಾನಿಗಳು ಅವಧೂತರಾಗಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಅವಧೂತ ಸ್ಥಿತಿಯ ಲಕ್ಷಣಗಳನ್ನ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಜ್ಞಾನಿಗಳು ತೋರಿಸಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ವಿಧಿ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಕೆಲವು ಸಲ, ಕೆಲವು ಸಂದರ್ಭಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲವು ಮಹಾತ್ಮರು ಮಾತ್ರ ಆ ರೀತಿ ಅತ್ಯಂತ ಪವಿತ್ರವಾದಂತಹ, ಯಾರಿಗೂ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗದೇ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಉತ್ಕೃಷ್ಟವಾದಂತಹ ಅವಧೂತ ಸ್ಥಿತಿಯನ್ನು ತಲುಪಿಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಆ ಅವಧೂತ ಸ್ಥಿತಿ ಅದನ್ನ ನೋಡಿದವರಿಗೆ, ಹತ್ತಿರದಿಂದ ಅನುಭವಿಸಿದವರಿಗೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಗೊತ್ತು, ಅವರ ಶಿಷ್ಯಂದ್ರಿಗೆ. ಅದನ್ನ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ಉನ್ಮತ್ತವತ್, ಪಿಶಾಚವತ್ ಅಂತ ವರ್ಣನೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಬಹಳ ಕಷ್ಟ ಅದನ್ನು ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. So we come to the 4 next steps, that is Sattvapatti or Brahmavit state, where after the continuous spiritual progress, perseverance, Shavana, Manana, Nididhyasana, as ordained by the Sadguru, when this aspirant continues, he enters into spiritual Nirvikalpa Samadhi, and then Sakshatkara occurs. Sakshatkara occurs. He realizes his true nature. He realizes his own Atma Swarupa. He will no more remember that he is the body-mind complex. He, like a flash, it occurs that he is the Atma himself. He is a Pratyagatma himself. So that is called realization. That is called Atma Sakshatkara or Brahmajnana. So by personal first-hand experience, he experiences that Brahma Bhava. He becomes one with Brahma. So Shrutis have already declared that Brahma with Brahmaiva Bhavati. The knower of Brahma becomes Brahma himself. So that is Sattvapatti state, the fourth, also called Brahmavit. So he becomes realized, he becomes a Brahmajnani, and he abides in his true self, in his own Atmaswarupa. No more he identifies himself with the body-mind complex. And at this level, he is a Brahmajnani himself, and he does lot of Upadesha as per the prarabdha of the body in this birth. Lot of Upadesha on spirituality, on this Brahmajnana. He imparts all of Upadesha to all his deserving disciples. Like the sage Yajnavalkya, they are all sages and Brahmajnanis. So there is Upadesha at this level. The next level, by further meditation and deeply engrossing into Nirvikalpa Samadhi and reveling in that ocean of bliss called Brahmananda, some Brahmajnanis will enter into a next higher plane called Brahma Vidvara Sthiti. That is Asamsakti, as it is called. Like the great sage Shuka, the son of Vyasa Maharshi, Shuka Maharshi, or the great sage called Jadabharata. Jadabharata's story is there in Bhagavad. The Bharata Muni actually, at the time of death, because of his affection towards the deer, which he had reared in his ashram during his Vanaprastha days, he gets attached to the deer, and then he's born as a deer in the next birth. But he still remembers that he is the great Bharata himself. He was doing sadhana for realization, and unfortunately, he got attached with the deer cub. At the time of his death, he remembered the deer, so he got the deer life. He was born into a deer, and this time he decides to not to commit any mistake, and then after the death of the deer, Janma or the birth, then he is born as a Jadabharata. From the beginning, he appears to be totally non-talkative, totally deaf and mute. He behaves like deaf and dumb. So it's called Jadabharata. The big story is there in Bhagavatam. We'll not go into that here. Please go through the Bhagavatam, the story of Jadabharata, and how finally he gives the finest Upadesha and Brahmajnana to the King Rahogana. King Rahogana. So there are examples. So Upadesha is there. And the state is called Asamsakti or Brahma Vidvara state. Here they impart Upadesha and they enter into Samadhi according to their own will, and they come out of the Samadhi, Nirvikalpa Samadhi, according to their own will. The Prarabdha is persisting there on the body still. The next plane is called Brahma Vidvariya. That is the sixth one. What is Brahma Vidvariya? It is also called Padartha Bhavini or Padartha Bhavana. This is the state which in most of the cases leads to Unmani Avastha. Ishachavat, Badiravat, Unmattavat Avastha. Brahma Vidvariya state, also called Padartha Bhavana or Padartha Bhavini, is a very rare state of a Brahmajnani where completely he is immersed completely, totally into Brahma Padartha, Nirvishesha, Nirvikalpa Brahma. He has a totally lost body consciousness. He totally even never recollects that he has a body, that he is limited to the body. This body in which he is residing, he never identifies, never bothers about the body, where it goes, what it does. He is totally oblivious to all objects in the worldly life. He is no way concerned with the body needs. whether the body is hungry, whether the body has to feed, whether the body has to defecate, whether the body has to urinate, where the body should rest. All these, even minute things about his own body, is totally gone. He is beyond, 100% beyond body consciousness. That is a state called Brahma Vidvariya state, sixth one, Padartha Bhavana or Padartha Bhavini. Padartha Abhava, in other words, he is oblivious to all objects, Padartha. And at this level, at this state, even he stops giving Upadesha. He stops. Because he is no more considering himself to induce anybody towards the state of Brahmajnana. He is beyond all known parameters of the behavior of a Brahmajnana. He is beyond everything. So that is what commonly we call Avadhuta Sthiti. The final stage is Brahma Vidvarishtha, seventh one, seventh plane, Turyaga it is called. What is Brahma Vidvarishtha? Acharya is dealing with this sloka. This is the ultimate plane of Jnana Bhumika, seventh one in the Jnana Bhumika, that is called Brahma Vidvarishta Sthiti, also called Turyaga Sthiti. Here, as usual, there is no Upadesha at all. No Upadesha. And he behaves totally like Avadhuta himself. He is transcendent everything. He has become totally himself the qualityless, attributeless, nirvikara, nirvishesha, parabrahma swarupa himself. Totally means totally. No more he is concerned. All activities are stopped. And he has converted or turned or transformed himself into Brahma Padartha. The Vedanta uses the word here, Brahmi Bhuta. He has become a Brahmi Bhuta while still living in the body. While still living in the body, while still being a Jivan Mukta, he becomes a Brahmi Bhuta himself. He transcends the body consciousness completely. That is the point. Brahma with Varishta Sthiti. It is also, it denotes Avadhuta Sthiti. There is no more Upadesha, Kashtha Mauna, and as at this state, according to Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, any Brahmajnani who enters into Brahma with Varishta state or this Turyaga state, ultimately there is no prarabdha of the body at all. Prarabdha is finished. And such a body cannot sustain for long of a Brahma with Varishta. The body is cast off mercilessly, according to Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. So these are 7 planes of Jnana Bhumika. All these information beautifully summarized, taking from the Yoga Vasishtha or Vasishtha Ramayana, and beautifully entered into a treatise called Vichara Chandrodaya and Sri Vritti Ratnavali Sara. Vichara Chandrodaya and Sri Vritti Ratnavali Sara. In this treatise, Brahmanishta Shrotriya Sadguru Sri Pitambaraji has written all these points, taking from Vasishtha Ramayana or Yoga Vasishtha. So that is about 7 planes. That is what Acharya is talking here. And as a common man, as a spiritual aspirant, as an ordinary person, now we have to remember that we cannot identify, we cannot designate, we cannot classify a Brahmajnani into these 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th planes of Jnana Bhumika. we cannot identify whether a Brahmavid, a Brahmajnani is Brahmavid or Brahmavidvariya or Brahmavidvara or Brahmavidvarishta. It is beyond our limited knowledge of mind and intellect complex. Because we are in Ajnana mode, we cannot classify and identify. But in the history of Vedanta in our India, there are numerous cases where great Mahatmans themselves have watched that how great Mahatmans have entered into these different states of Jnana Bhumika and they have exhibited the quality of Avadhuta Sthiti. Real Avadhuta Sthiti, totally least conscious of their own body and their surrounding, their dress, their food habits, everything. They are totally unconcerned. So, such examples are given by other Mahatmans and we rely on that. See, one or two examples, Sadashiva Brahmendra, the Yati Varenya, Avadhuta Varenya of Tamil Nadu, who took Jiva Samadhi in the small village called Karur, near Karur, in the village called Nerur, on the banks of Kaveri River, some 150, 170 years back. Sri Sadashiva Brahmendra is one such rare Jivan Mukta, Brahmavid Varishtha, Avadhuta Mahamuni. Our own Sri Chandrasekhara Bharati Mahaswamigal in Sringeri, who adored the Jagat Guru, who cast off his body in 1954 in the Tunga River in Sringeri. He is reverentially referred as the great Jivan Mukta and Avadhuta Guru himself because of the behavior. Public and people did not know about the behavior. Sometimes Mahajnanis, great Mahatmans, in their Unmani Avastha, in their Unmat Avastha, they exhibit certain characters which are not common to all of us, to the onlookers. They may wear the dress, they may not wear the dress. They are least bothered about the etiquettes, mannerisms. They may roam freely, totally naked, oblivious of that people are watching. They are least concerned about their body, mannerisms, maintenance, etiquette, etc., etc., etc. Regarding food, they are least bothered. Regarding their rituals, they are least bothered. Regarding Upadesha, they are least bothered. Regarding their own method of worship, least bothered. Nothing can be said concretely. It happens. One or two small examples I can quote here, which are extensively recorded by the devotees, and it is recorded in the Sringeri Mutt history, that how our reverential Sri Chandrasekhara Bharati Mahaswamigal, a rare Jivan Mukta, a Brahmavid Varishtha, an Avadhuta himself, sometimes conducted. And onlookers, they were bewildered, they were surprised. They thought that there is something wrong with Mahaswami himself, because at times, one or two small examples I am giving. When he used to do Chandramouli Sri Sharada Puja, especially Kumkumarchana, when Lalita Sahasranama is being recited, sometimes he used to offer Kumkum Prasada for every one Nama. In Lalita Sahasranama, there are 1,000 Namas. And even when the Kumkum, vermilion powder was finished, when the recitation was finished, Lalita Sahasranama, his hand used to move from the bottom where the vermilion kumkum used to be there in the plate, and he used to offer, and his hand used to move towards the deity continuously till somebody should tell him, attendant should come and tell him that it is finished, Mahaswami. Then he used to stop. Sometimes when he used to take out the vessel, small tumbler, and start pouring water on his head while taking bath during rainy days inside Sachidananda Vilasa, the place where Jagadguru stays in Sringeri, even when the water was finished in the bucket, his hand used to do the same motion. He used to carry the small tumbler, the brass tumbler, and then put it on his head like this, as if he is pouring the water. He was oblivious of what is happening. And continuously he used to do that without even, because his mind was totally engrossed in Brahmapada. He was reveling in Sachidananda, Brahmananda Sthiti. And some attendant should watch and then come very near and closely tell Mahaswami that water is finished, your bath is finished, you can please get up. Sometimes when he used to wear ochre robe, sannyasi robe, sometimes the robe used to get disheld and gets fallen on the ground, and he never used to bother. He was not oblivious of the thing that he is totally naked as a Jagat Guru of the Samsthanam Sringeri. But people are watching. So attendants used to hurriedly cover him and then put the robe around him and then drag him into his room. And it happened to that extent that they used to lock the room from outside. Why? Because people did not know at that time. Even now people don't know. What are these stages? What are these Jnana Bhumikas? What are these Brahmavidvariyas? Sixth stage, which leads to Avadhuta Sthiti, and Brahmavidvarishtha, seventh state of Jnana Bhumika, which leads to Avadhuta Sthiti. Several names are there in our Indian spiritual annals. The great Mahatman, great sage, Trailanga Swami of Kashi, a great Mahatman, a great Avadhuta India has ever seen. Swami Samartha Maharaj of Akkalkot near Sholapur, Maharashtra, another great Mahatman, Dattavatari, a great sage, an Avadhuta himself. Plenty of examples are there like that. And the great Bhagavan Nityananda of Ganeshpuri near Mumbai, who comes from Anjanagad, Kerala, a great Avadhuta himself. All such examples are there. They're all, for people like us, it may be very difficult to explain and give a rationality why they behave like that. Our mind cannot understand what are these states. Anyway, with this digression, we'll continue today to the next sloka. So Acharya continues the same point. Prarabdha sutra graditam shariram prayatu va tishtatu ghorivasrak natat punashpashyati tattvavetta anandatmani brahmani leena vrittihi. Prarabdha sutra gratitam shariram prayatu va tishtatu ghorivasrak natat punapashyati tattvavetta anandatmani brahmani leena vrittihi. ಸದಾ ಆನಂದ ಸ್ವರೂಪನಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಪರಮಾನಂದ ರೂಪವಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಪರಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಸ್ವರೂಪದಲ್ಲಿ ಮನಸ್ಸಿಟ್ಟಂತಹ ಆತ್ಮಜ್ಞಾನಿಗೆ, ಆ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಜ್ಞಾನಿಗೆ ತನ್ನ ಮನೋವೃತ್ತಿಯನ್ನ ಆ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮದಲ್ಲಿಯೇ ಲಯ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ, ಮನೋನಾಶ ಆಗಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ, ಮನಸ್ಸು ಶುದ್ಧ ಪರಿಶುದ್ಧ ಸಾತ್ವಿಕ ತತ್ವವಾಗಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಅಂತಹ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಜ್ಞಾನಿಗೆ ಪ್ರಾರಬ್ಧದಿಂದ ಬಂದಿರತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಈ ಶರೀರ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಪ್ರಾರಬ್ಧದಿಂದ ಜನಿಸಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಶರೀರ, ಇದು ಇದ್ದರೇನು, ಹೋದರೇನು, ಬದುಕಿದ್ರೇನು, ಮರಣ ಹೊಂದಿದ್ರೇನು, ಯಾವುದಕ್ಕೂ ಸಂಬಂಧ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಇರೋ ಹಾಗೆ ಉದಾಸೀನವಾಗಿ ಇರ್ತಾನಂತೆ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಜ್ಞಾನಿ. ಆಚಾರ್ಯ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಪ್ರಾರಬ್ಧ ಸೂತ್ರ ಗ್ರಥಿತಂ ಶರೀರಂ ಪ್ರಯಾತು ವಾ ತಿಷ್ಠತು. ಈ ಶರೀರ ಪ್ರಾರಬ್ಧದಿಂದ ಬಂದಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಇದು ಇದ್ರೇನು, ಇದು ಬದುಕಿದ್ದು ಎಷ್ಟು ದಿವಸ ಬದುಕಿದ್ರೇನು, ಅಥವಾ ಇವತ್ತೇ ಮರಣ ಹೊಂದಿದ್ರೇನು, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇದು ಬದುಕಿದ್ರು ಅಷ್ಟೇ, ಬದುಕ್ತಿದ್ರು ಅಷ್ಟೇ, ಇದು ಪ್ರಾರಬ್ಧದಿಂದ ಬಂದಿದೆ, ಇದು ಹೊರಟೋಗುತ್ತೆ, ನನಗೂ ಇದಕ್ಕೂ ಸಂಬಂಧ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ನೋ ಭಾವದಲ್ಲಿ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಜ್ಞಾನಿ ತನ್ನ ಶರೀರದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಅಷ್ಟರ ಮಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಶರೀರದ ತಾದಾತ್ಮ್ಯವನ್ನು ಕಳೆದುಕೊಂಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಉದಾಹರಣೆ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ? ಕೋರಿವ ಸೃಕ್ ನ ತತ ಪುನಃ ಪಶ್ಯತಿ ತತ್ವವೇತ್ತ. ತತ್ವವೇತ್ತ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಜ್ಞಾನಿಯು, ನೀವು ಹಸುವಿನ ಕೊರಳಿಗೆ ಕೆಲವು ಸಂದರ್ಭಗಳಲ್ಲಿ, ಸಂಕ್ರಾಂತಿ ಅಂತ ಹಬ್ಬದ ಸಂದರ್ಭಗಳಲ್ಲಿ, ಅಥವಾ ಉತ್ತರ ಭಾರತದಲ್ಲಿ UP ಮತ್ತು ಮಥುರಾ ವೃಂದಾವನ ಏರಿಯಾಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಗೋಪಾಷ್ಟಮಿ ದಿವಸ ಗೋವುಗಳಿಗೆ ವಿಶೇಷವಾದ ಅಲಂಕಾರ ಪೂಜೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಪ್ರತಿ ಗೋಪಾಷ್ಟಮಿಯ ದಿವಸ ವಿಶೇಷವಾದ ಅಲಂಕಾರ, ವಿಶೇಷವಾದ ಹೂವಿನ ಅಲಂಕಾರ, ಹೂವಿನ ಮಾಲೆ ಹಾಕ್ತಾರೆ ಗೋವುಗಳಿಗೆ. ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲೂ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಈ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ಈ ಉದಾಹರಣೆ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಹಸುವಿಗೆ ನೀವು ಯಾವುದೇ ಬಣ್ಣ ಬಣ್ಣದ ಹೂವಿನ ಮಾಲೆಗಳನ್ನ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಸಂತೋಷಕ್ಕೆ ನೀವು ಹಸುವಿನ ಕೊರಳಿಗೆ ಹಾಕಿದ್ರೂ ಸಹ ಹಸುವಿಗೆ ಅದರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಗಮನ ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಅದು ತನಗೆ ಹಾಕಿದ ಮಾಲೆಯ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಉದಾಸೀನವಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಆ ರೀತಿ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಹಸು ತನ್ನ ಕೊರಳಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಕಿರೋ ಮಾಲೆ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಉದಾಸೀನವಾಗಿದೆಯೋ, ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಜ್ಞಾನಿಯೋ ತನ್ನ ದೇಹದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ, ಅದರ ಇರುವಿಕೆ ಬಗ್ಗೆ, ಅದರ ಮರಣದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಇದು ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ಕೊಟ್ಟ ಉದಾಹರಣೆ. ಸೊ he gives an example here in the shloka. ಪ್ರಾರಬ್ಧ ಸೂತ್ರ ಗ್ರಥಿತಂ ಶರೀರಂ ಪ್ರಯಾತು ವಾ ತಿಷ್ಠತು ಗೋರಿವಸ್ರ ನ ತತಃ ಪುನಃ ಪಶ್ಯತಿ ತತ್ವವೇತ್ತ ಆನಂದಾತ್ಮನಿ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಣಿ ಲೀನವೃತ್ತಿ. Just like he gives an example here, actually. When you garland a cow, you feel happy that you are garlanding. But the cow as an animal doesn't understand the significance. It is not bothered about which garland you are putting, which flower garland you are putting on its neck. It's least bothered. Just like that, a brahmajnani, tattvetta na tata puna pashyati, prarabdha sutra graditam shariram prayatu vatishtatu. Just like the cow doesn't bother about the garland of flowers in its neck put by human beings. Tattvetta na tat puna pashyati tattvetta. The realized master, a brahmajnani, a jivan mukta, a sthita prajna, he is not bothered. He will never think of what? About the body which has come because of prarabdha, which is born out of prarabdha, this body, with whom he never identifies anymore. Whether his body remains, whether it is alive, whether it is going to die today or tomorrow, by whatever method, he is least bothered. Na tata puna pashyati tattvavetta, because sada anandatmani brahmani leenavrutti, his mind, he is totally reveling in Brahmananda. He has himself become an ocean of Brahmananda. He is enjoying the bliss. He is reveling in the bliss because he has become Sampurna Parabrahma Rupa himself. No more he considers him as a body. That is the point Acharya is making here. He will not care anymore again and again. He is not bothered about his own body. Why? Again Acharya continues. Akhandanandamatmanam vijñāya swasvarupataha kimichan kasya va hetor deham pushnati tattvavit. Akhandanandamatmanam vijñāya swasvarupataha kimichan kasya va hetor deham pushnati tattvavit. Acharya says, Kimichan kasyava hetoh deham pushnati tattvavit. Tattvavit kimichan deham pushnati. Keywords. Tattvavit kimichan pushnati deham. Keywords. ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು? ತತ್ವಜ್ಞಾನಿಯು ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಜ್ಞಾನ ಉಂಟಾದ ನಂತರ, ಆತ್ಮಜ್ಞಾನ ಸಂಪನ್ನನಾದ ನಂತರ, ತನ್ನ ಸ್ವಸ್ವರೂಪದಲ್ಲಿ ತಾನು ಯಾರು ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ ಆದ ನಂತರ, ತಾನು ಈ ದೇಹ ಶರೀರ ಮನಸ್ಸು ಅಲ್ಲವೇ ಅಲ್ಲ, ತಾನು ಸಾಕ್ಷಾತ್ ಆ ನಿರ್ಗುಣ ಪ್ರತ್ಯೇಗಾತ್ಮ ಸ್ವರೂಪನೇ ಆಗಿದ್ದೇನೆ ಅಂತ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡ ನಂತರ, ತನ್ನ ಆತ್ಮವೇ ತಾನಾಗಿದ್ದೇನೆ ಅಂತ ಅರಿತುಕೊಂಡ ನಂತರ, ಸ್ವಂತ ನೇರ ಅನುಭವದಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದ ನಂತರ, ಆ ನಿರ್ವಿಕಲ್ಪ ಸಭಾನಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಪರಮಾತ್ಮನ ಕೃಪೆಯಿಂದ ಆತನಿಗೆ ಅರಿವು ಉಂಟಾದ ನಂತರ, ಆ ಅರಿವು ಬಂದ ಮೇಲೆ ಆತ ಇನ್ನ ಮುಂದೆ ಏನು ಬಯಸ್ತಾನೆ? ಪರಮ ಪುರುಷಾರ್ಥವಾದ ಮೋಕ್ಷ ಪ್ರಾಪ್ತಿಯೇ ಆತನಿಗೆ ಬಂದಿರಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ, ಇನ್ನು ಮತ್ತೆ ಪುನರ್ಜನ್ಮವೇ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಬಂದಿರಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ, ಶರೀರ ಇದ್ದಾಗಲೇ ಆತ ಜೀವನ್ ಮುಕ್ತನಾಗಿದ್ದಾನೆ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ, ಆತ ಮುಕ್ತಿಯನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿದ್ದಾನೆ ಅಂತ ಆದಾಗ ಆತ ಮುಂದೆ ಏನನ್ನು ಬಯಸ್ತಾನೆ? ಯಾವುದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಬಯಸ್ತಾನೆ? ಯಾವ ಸುಖಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಆತ ತನ್ನ ದೇಹವನ್ನು ಪೋಷಣೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ? ಯಾರಿಗೋಸ್ಕರ ಆತ ಏನನ್ನ ಇಚ್ಛೆ ಪಡ್ತಾನೆ ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ. ಬೃಹದಾರಣ್ಯಕ ಉಪನಿಷತ್ತಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾಜ್ಞವಲ್ಕ್ಯರ ಉಪದೇಶ ಕೊಡೋದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಮಹಾಮಂತ್ರ ಇದೆ. ಆ ಮಂತ್ರದ ಛಾಯೆ ಈ ಶ್ಲೋಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಉಪನಿಷತ್ತಲ್ಲಿ ಕಿಮಿಚ್ಛನ್ ಕಸ್ಯ ಕಾಮಾಯ ಶರೀರಂ ಅನುಸಂಜ್ವರೇ ಅಂತ ಯಾಜ್ಞವಲ್ಕ್ಯರು ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಒಬ್ಬ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಜ್ಞಾನಿ ಕಿಮಿಚ್ಛನ್ ಕಸ್ಯ ಕಾಮಾಯ ಶರೀರಂ ಅನುಸಂಜ್ವರೇ, ಯಾವುದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ, ಯಾವ ಪುರುಷಾರ್ಥಕ್ಕೆ, ಯಾವ ಪ್ರಯೋಜನಕ್ಕೆ ತನ್ನ ಈ ದೇಹವನ್ನು ತಾನು ಅಂತ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾನೆ. ಒಮ್ಮೆ ಅದು ತಾನು ದೇಹ ಅಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಆದಮೇಲೆ ಯಾವ ಪುರುಷಾರ್ಥಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ದೇಹವನ್ನು ಬಯಸ್ತಾನೆ, ತನ್ನ ದೇಹದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ತಾನೇ ಆಸೆ ಪಡ್ತಾನೆ, ತಾನೇ ಮೋಹ ಪಡ್ತಾನೆ. ಒಬ್ಬ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಜ್ಞಾನಿ, ಒಬ್ಬ ತತ್ವವಿತ್, ಒಬ್ಬ ಆತ್ಮಜ್ಞಾನಿ ಅಂತ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾಜ್ಞವಲ್ಕ್ಯರು ಹೇಳೋ ಮಾತು ಬೃಹದಾರಣ್ಯಕ ಉಪನಿಷತ್ತು. ಅದರ ಛಾಯೆನಲ್ಲಿ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಶ್ಲೋಕ. So what Acharya says here, Akhandanandamatmanam vijñāya swaswarupatah Akhandanandamatmanam vijñāya tatvavittimachin kasyava hetor deham pushnati. Kimichan kasyava hetor deham pushnati tatvavit. After realizing the blissful state of Atmaswarupa as his real nature, after realizing his own true nature, after identifying his own true reality, a Tattvavit, a Brahmajnani, a Jivan Mukta, an Atmajnani, next, when he discards that he is no more the body complex, for what purpose? For whose benefit, for whose sake the Brahmajnani will nourish his own body? For what benefit? He has discarded the body consciousness completely. So for whose sake he is concerned with his own body? He is not bothered whether the body lives or dies. Totally non-attached with the body-mind complex. That is the point. Kimichan kasyava hetor deham pushnati tattvavit. Desiring which or for whose sake will Brahmajnani will nourish his body. That is the point here. This is a reflection of the mantra of Bృహదారణ్యక Upanishad, where sage Yajnavalkya says the same thing. Kimichan kasya kamaya shariram anusanjvaret. For what purpose? For what better purpose? The Atmajnani, a Jivan Mukta, will care, will pamper, will look after, will love his own physical body. Never. Once he knows that he is no more body, he will never bother much about his own body. For whose sake? For what purpose? He should pamper his body. There is no need at all for him. He is no more concerned with the body affairs, the physical body, Sharira, because he is devoid of Sharira Abhimana. Who? A Jnani. Please remember, all these shlokas Acharya is dealing here is referring to the state of Brahmajnana, how a Brahmajnani revels, how a Brahmajnani lives in the world of Ajnanis. Please remember, as long as the body is there because of Prarabdha, Brahmajnani appears to be living in the world of Ajnanis. which is full of Maya. So for others, his behavior looks astonished. For him, it is natural. So for us, it's very difficult to identify how a Brahmajnani, a realized master, looks about his own body. You cannot enter his pristine, purest of the pure mind and try to understand, try to analyze, try to peep into the nature. No psychiatrist in the world, no doctor in the world, no intellectual in the world, no logistic person in the world can enter into that pristine world of Brahma Padartha, because we are all ajnanis. So as ajnanis, as ignorant, spiritually ignorant people, we can only look upon a Brahmajnani, how he behaves, how he sits, how he talks, how he walks, how he scolds, how he eats. That's all we can do. And we try to compare his behavior with our standard behavior, the standard procedure what a human being does. We have been brought up in that environment from birth to death, that we have to wear dress. We cannot go naked on the road. People will laugh at me. It is illegal. The sense of shyness creeps into my mind. I have to show all the mannerisms while walking, drinking, eating, in social functions, in the home. I have to maintain decency, decorum in the functions. How I should behave with the elders, how I should behave with the younger one. All these things we are taught. We are taught. So accordingly, our behavior is completely controlled. And when we look something different which we don't know, we only feel aghast, surprised. We think simply we can't understand what it is. That is how the Brahmajnani. So Acharya is talking about the nature of Brahmajnanis. Nature of Brahmajnanis, how they behave, how they live. So what is then Acharya is culminating these points about the importance of realization, importance of Brahmajnana. Why it is a Parama Purushartha. Why it is called as the basic purpose of human. Why we are born as human being, in order to understand who I am really. Why it is so important? What is the significance of Brahmajnana? Why the Brahmajnana should be there, first of all? Why I should get the Atmajnana? Common point. Common point. A lot of people will question, why all these tapas and meditation, japa? Why you should go behind a guru, search a guru, try to understand whether he is a jnani or not, try to put him into your own methods of testing, and then go according to him, bow down, follow his instructions, consider him as your guru, and do all rigorous sadhana. Why? They also are human beings and we are also human beings. They also eat, we also eat. They also sleep, we also sleep. They also die, we also die. Why all this Allah Balla about sadhana? Am I not happy with my life? Am I not happy with? Why I should suffer in the name of sadhana, spiritual sadhana? Why I should run away? Why I should reject all the happiness in the life? These questions are always there. That means, what is the importance of Atmajnana? Why? See, all Mahatmas have said in their own fashion, in their own methods. Upanishads have given a lot of information. They have declared repeatedly. Bhagavad Gita, Lord also declares repeatedly. Brahma Sutra also declares repeatedly. That why? What is the significance of this Atmajnana? Why I should be realized? First point. What if I am not realized? Can I not lead a life? I am happily settled. I got a lot of wealth and money and my own assets, and then everything is taken care of. And I love my family. My people are there. I have a name and a status in the society. I can enjoy my life. everything is with me. So why? Like everyone dies, one day I will also die. That's all. So why I should strive my hard? Why I should sit for hours together for meditation? Why I should run behind a guru? Who knows whether he is a real guru or not? Who knows? Can you guarantee? Such questions are there in a majority. So, pardon me, I'm unable to codify all the answers here. A brief answer I can give here is the important significance of realization. What happens? See, the most important effect of realization is you straight away, you come out of the fear of death in life. Straight away. Please remember, this is very difficult for me to explain. Abhinivesha in Vedanta. The very first significant point is, benefit is, you totally come out of the fear of death. No more you are afraid of your own death. And your mind is so stabilized, it is so peaceful, absolutely you enjoy the death of your own physical body, that you are released from the prison of this body anymore. You are no more limited to this body. Fear of death will go away. The mind becomes totally pure, totally pious, and always it is at peace. Always the mind is at peace internally. Because you identify yourself with Paramatma, who is residing inside your own heart cave, and no more you consider you are the body. So your attachments, your desires, everything will come down. Your raga and dvesha will come down. That is a very important point. Your anger will come down. Your divide of all these things. Vitaraga bhayak krodha. Lord uses, Krishna Paramatma uses the phrase in Bhagavad Gita. How a sthita prajna behaves. How a jnani remains. Lord says in Bhagavad Gita, the famous phrase is Vitaraga bhayak krodha. Means he is a devoid of a brahmajnani. A sthita prajna is a devoid of raga bhayak krodha. Devoid of passion, devoid of desires, devoid of total anger, hatredness, jealousy, everything is devoid of. He simply becomes a witness, pure witness to whatever happens in the life, in this so-called worldly life where he is taking part. He remains as a witness to see how his body is moving, how his body is behaving. He is no more concerned, but he will be discharging all the duties to the perfection, to the highest perfection, without internal turmoil. Mind is always at peace. Mind is always at peace. That is the most important point. There is no worry at all. And come what may, anything happen in life, any unfavorable condition occur in life, any health crisis occur in life, he remains unmoved. Because everything is a dream happening. Everything is a mithya, like a swapnavastha. So he remains unperturbed completely, and the most above all, the effect of this Brahmajnana would be, this will be the last birth. There is no more rebirth at all. That is very important point. No more rebirth. This entity is not born again. It is not caught up in the cycle of birth and death. No more rebirth at all. No more karma bandhana at all. All karmas are gone. Sanchita karma totally gone. Prarabdha is only to the extent to the body remains with which he is not concerned. So from the standpoint of a jnani, even prarabdha is not. Please remember these words. From the standpoint of a jnani, the purest of the pure mind, for him there is no prarabdha at all, because he is beyond body consciousness. So there is no rebirth, all karmas are gone, and totally there is the grief and sorrow, suffering is gone. Shoka, moha, nivrutti. He is beyond shoka and beyond moha. He is beyond attachment, moha means, and beyond shoka means grief and sorrow and suffering. He is beyond all these things. Nothing will move him, nothing will surprise him. So these are the effects of Brahmajnana. The effect of Brahmajnana, as from the outlooker standpoint of view, we can try to analyze. So same point now Acharya takes up in this next important shloka. Samsiddhasya phalam vetat jivan muktasya yoginah. Samsiddhasya phalam vetat jivan muktasya yoginah. Bahirantah sadananda rasaswadanam atmani. Bahirantah sadananda rasaswadanam atmani. In this shloka, Acharya ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಜೀವನ್ ಮುಕ್ತನ ಸ್ಥಿತಿ, ಆತ್ಮಜ್ಞಾನಿಯ ಸ್ಥಿತಿ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಆತ್ಮಜ್ಞಾನದ ಫಲದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಆತ್ಮಜ್ಞಾನ ನಿಷ್ಠನಾದ ಜೀವನ್ ಮುಕ್ತನಾದ ಯೋಗಿಗೆ ಏನಪ್ಪ ಫಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಆತ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಮತ್ತು ಒಳಗಡೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಹೊರಭಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ ವ್ಯವಹಾರ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ, ಜಗತ್ತಿನಲ್ಲಿ ವ್ಯವಹರಿಸ್ತಾ ಇರ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ, ಮತ್ತು ಅಂತರ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಆತನ ಮನಸ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಆನಂದ ರಸವನ್ನ ಸವಿತಾ ಇರ್ತಾನೆ, ಅಖಂಡಾಕಾರ ವೃತ್ತಿಯಿಂದ ಇರ್ತಾನೆ. ನಿರಂತರ ಆತನ ಚಿತ್ತ ಮನಸ್ಸು ಪ್ರಸನ್ನವಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಬಾಹ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಮತ್ತು ಆಂತರ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಸದಾ ಆನಂದವೇ ತುಂಬಿರುತ್ತದೆ. ಯಾರಿಗೆ? ಜೀವನ್ಮುಕ್ತನಾದಂತಹ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಜ್ಞಾನಿಗೆ. ಇದು ಈ ಜೀವನ್ಮುಕ್ತತೆಯ ಫಲ, ಆತ್ಮಜ್ಞಾನದ ಫಲ ಅಂತ ಈ ಶ್ಲೋಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ಸ್ಪಷ್ಟವಾಗಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಸಂಸಿದ್ಧಸ್ಯ ಫಲಂ ತ್ವೇತತ್ ಜೀವನ್ಮುಕ್ತಸ್ಯ ಯೋಗಿನಃ ಬಹಿರಂತಃ ಸದಾನಂದ ರಸಾಸ್ವಾದನಂ ಆತ್ಮನಿ. For a Jivan Mukta or for a Atmajnani, the result, the effect of Atmajnana that accrues to a Jivan Mukta is, it is a permanent, blissful nature he revels in all the time, inside and outside. Whether he is moving in the world, whatever he is behaving, interacting with the world, or inside, all the time, he is filled with pure bliss, Mahadananda, Brahmananda. There is absolutely no change in the mental state of he enjoying, reveling himself in Atmananda, Swarupananda. So for a Jivan Mukta or a Brahmajnani, this is the fruit of the effort. This is the fruit. Samsiddhasya phalam tve tu etat Jivan Muktasya yoginah. So this is the reward, this is the fruit for a Jivan Mukta. And Mahaswami, Chandrasekhara Bharati Mahaswami, one commentary while writing on this shloka, he says, even when a Jivan Mukta, Brahmajnani or Atmajnani is behaving and interacting with the worldly affairs, with the worldly people, even when a Brahmajnani is interacting with worldly people, living in the world, talking to the people like any other person, with all these things, when he enters into worldly consciousness and behaves with the worldly people, still there is no eclipse of joy and ananda as far as his mind or mental state is concerned. This is what Mahaswami writes. Chandrasekhar Bharati Mahaswami writes here. Even when a Brahmajnani enters into the daily routine activity, worldly activity, his mind is always reveling in Purna Brahma. His mind is steadfast. It is attuned to the locus of Brahma. He always remembers he is the Brahma Padartha. He always remembers he is the Atma Swarupa. He always remembers he is not the body anymore. He always remains as a pure witness to what is happening in front of him, and he is only a witness. What his body is doing, what he is talking, he is a witness to that himself. He is no more attached, no more concerned. Internally. That is the point Mahaswami himself writes. So he calls a Jivan Mukta entering into Vyavahara, a Jivan Mukta entering into worldly life. He calls it as a particular yoga known Vyuthana Yoga. Vyuthana Yoga Dasha. What is Vyuthana Yoga Dasha? A Jivan Mukta Brahmajnani at times comes back to worldly sense and behaves like a normal person, behaving with the normal people, interacting with normal people in a normal way. So this effect is called Vyuthana Yoga Dasha, as per Chandrasekhara Bharati Master. So this will not curtail, it will not impact on his nature of Brahmananda. He remains steadfast in his Atmananda Swarupasti all the time. So with Guru Sankalpa, we are stopping here at the shloka number 417 today. Sri Rama Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama, Sri Rama Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama, Sri Rama Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama, Sri Rama Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama. Hari Om Tat Sat. Om Namo Bhagavate Virajeshwara.
Hari Om, sir. Thank you so much. Today's was so insightful, especially on the various states of Brahmajnanis. So we all come to know that Brahmajnanis are all one, but I think different flavors of Brahmajnana would be more appropriate. I would think as you said, there is no gradation. But why Brahmajnana is very, very
Again, it is according to the prarabdha of the sharira, some enter into avadhuta sthiti. I can tell you in a very short way. Why and how, nobody can answer. It is the prarabdha of the sharira. That is what Mahaswami himself once openly said when he was asked, Mahaswami, why you behave like this at times? He said, this is the prarabdha of the body. Smilingly, he said.
Thank you, sir. Hari Om.
Hari Om. So next week,
yes, sir.
Friday.
Yes.
Okay. 4:30 Friday.
4:30.